A report from Vanguard had shown that unemployment rises to 5.3% as CBN hikes interest rate to 27.25%. The Nigerian Bureau of Statistics (NBS) yesterday announced that Nigeria's unemployment rate grew by 1.2 percentage points to 5.3% year-on-year. This came on a day that the Central Bank of Nigeria yesterday raised the monetary policy rate (MPR) by 27.25%. The NBS, which disclosed this in its Nigeria Labour Force Survey report, said, and I quote, the unemployment rate for quarter 1 2024 was 5.3%, showing an increase from 5.0% recorded in quarter 3 2023. The unemployment rate among males was 4.3% and 6.2% among females. By place of residence, the unemployment rate was 6.0% in urban areas and 4.3% in rural areas for quarter 1 2024. Looking at the youth unemployment rate was 8.4% in first quarter 2024, showing a decrease from 8.6% in third quarter 2023. So here is the conversation that we are diving into. So we are still trying to manage our lives, trying to do one or two things. And a lot of persons who want to go into business now, they need money to go into business. And we know that gone are the days that you would have one rich uncle somewhere who would send you money to as his capital to start your business. So a lot of businesses now are depending on bank loans. Now that CBN has increased the interest rate to 27.25%, we are looking at the effect of this on businesses who would want to venture into loan taking to expand their business. And this is not just a prediction, this is the reality from Vanguard, that unemployment now has increased to 5.3%. What are your thoughts on this development?
Well, if I want to be emphatical, I will tell you that the analysis might not even be accurate because there's every tendency that unemployment rate is higher than what was said by Vanguard. Is aside the increments in interest rates by CBN, there are other, even the demand for the loan is not even something that many people can even afford. All right. And how much do you want to get from bank? A lot of things are affecting businesses this time around. You want to talk about shop rent now in Lagos, for example. Shop rent. How much do you want to get from the bank? That before you pay for shop, do some maintenance in the shop, the money is gone. How much? Some you go to some people's shop today, you will see a very scanty shop, and they will tell you the worth of the goods in that shop. You won't believe it. So many things has led to unemployment. Yesterday, I was at Aja Market, and I saw somebody I used to know. I know the business this woman was into before. Very big business. Honestly, what I saw the woman selling yesterday, I just even I didn't know how to greet her because she, I was not too free because I know the level of her business. She was having a shop before. Now yesterday she was selling in that same Aja Market. She had a shop and she was doing something very big business. But now she was just selling very little thing by the roadside on table. I was like, what has happened? Right. So, and this period, the policy of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reduced people. It has turned people to Yoruba people will say Enito Monshi, Tidabenti Monshi, stuff like that. People that knows the system are now as though they don't know anything about the system again. People that knows how to go about their businesses have become people like that as if they don't know anything again. So it's not all about the interest increment that will result or increase unemployment in the country. Everything, so many other factors has contributed to unemployment, to the increase in unemployment in the country. Do you want to talk about graduates? That we took a story, we discussed this on this deck some time ago, that somebody will graduate as an accountant and the bank is demanding for 5 years experience. Can you be in school and be working? They are demanding for some certain range of age before they can employ. So a lot of factors from the government, from all corners or from all sectors, has contributed to the increase of unemployment in the country. And that is why I said the statistics from Vanguard may not even be true, because we have more higher rate of unemployment in the country than what they are telling us. Sincerely.
Okay, now let's reason with CBN a little. We know that Nigeria currently inflation is at over 30%, with food inflation at over 40%. So these people are now saying that we want to be able to save money so that we can come back to being the giant of Africa. They are now saying that, okay, since the government sometimes borrow money from us, there are businesses who borrow money from us, there are investors who want to invest and they will need loan for their investments and all of that. So they are now saying that, okay, these are the caliber of people who borrow from us. Let's increase the loan, the interest rates, so that when we increase this interest rate for these people, they can afford it. Then we will be able to patch the inflation, and then our naira will regain its strength. Then we will know that as a CBN, we are doing well. This is the motive behind the increment. But then, if we are saying now that now they have increased this thing and we want them to bring down this reduction, if they bring this reduction, how will CBN be able to curb inflation? How will they be able to help the country how will they be able to help the naira to get back in value? Because one, this interest rate that they are increasing is going to attract foreign investors. These people will borrow money and thereby they will make more money from those interest rates. Now, if they are to withdraw it now, how will they help the naira to get back its value?
You see, the truth is, in as much as for whatever that must be done, there must be reason attached. They just did that. What CBN analyzed are just to back up what they want to do. It's not in the place of CBN to strengthen, to deflate what the federal government has inflated. The federal government is just busy. If everything is inflating, nothing is deflating. It's not in their place to what the federal government cannot do. It's not in their place to do it. Like I said, what they said is just to back up their action. That doesn't mean that by increasing the interest rate, they are going to do what they said they are going to do. If the federal government, if our leaders can be lying to us on things that, how much more them? They are business people, all right? What I want to say is some banks are owned by individuals. The central bank are not the only ones that give out loan. What about other private banks and all that people go there to? Before now, people prefer going to bank for loan because their interest is low, rather than going to microfinance and all that, because their interest is low. That is one of the reasons why people confidently go to banks, and their terms of payment is much easier. But now that they are trying to increase, of course, other banks, almost all the banks will increase their interest, their loan interest. I see this as people who want to increase their profits. It's not about telling us you want to safeguard and strengthen naira. It's not true. The government, the president, our federal government is not doing anything about strengthening our naira. They are not doing anything about the inflation in almost every segment in Nigeria. Is not the responsibility of the central bank. And I'm sure that this thing they just said is to be sure that so that people will not kick against what they want to do, so that people will not oppose them, so that they can be able to achieve their aim. They are not going to implement what they said.
Yeah, definitely. Because what I'm saying here is that, as good as it sounds, sometimes I really wish that before we implement certain policies, we can actually checkmate and see if those policies are actually aligned with the experience of the people. How will the people take it? How will the people take it? And policies that only benefit some people and leaving others stranded, it infuriates me how some of our leaders manage to raise those policies. So here, the good thing is you have increased the interest rate to 27%. Now, the only people, or the only set of people who can afford this could be the foreign investors. People who would want to come and invest in the country because of the higher returns on interest that they are going to get from it. But we must be careful of something. With the Nigeria that we are in now, look at the example of the woman that you have cited. Somebody who has shops, has a lot of things that she's selling. Someone this morning related to the story that you have just shared. She was coming back from Oyinbo market. You need to see the small bag that she's carrying on her head, and I'm very sure that that bag is not 100,000 naira. She went with huge amount of money, because by the time you start selling on the market today segment, there was a video that we saw where the woman showed how much they are selling ogbono, a derica of ogbono at 4,000 naira. Imagine people that will take it back
A
home
pint of
to
ogbono
go
now is
and
about
sell.
30,000.
So just imagine the amount they are going to sell it if they are to sell it at smaller rates. So now businesses are saying that, okay, the reason why our business is like it is because it is not expanded. Let's try to expand it. They go to some of those banks and say that, give us loans, we want to expand our business. Now you have inflated the interest rate. Not everybody will be able to afford it. You know that by expanding their businesses, if this business owner say that we want to expand our business, there's nobody to sponsor us. There's no father somewhere, there's no uncle somewhere, there's no sister in the US who would sponsor us. But we want to help ourselves. Let's get this let's get this loan. When we get this loan, we will be able to solve unemployment issue in the country. Because by expanding your business, you may not be able to do it alone. You may be needing more hands to help you. Now, because they cannot afford that interest on it, they hold back, and it is going to kill entrepreneurship skills in Nigerians. In the heart of Nigerians, because we must be mindful of something. These policies that you are bringing, this interest rate is going to only favor the foreign investors. They can afford it. How many of the local business owners, how many of the local entrepreneurs can afford all of these things? And trust me, if entrepreneurship energy dies in the heart of Nigerians, it is going to further lead to more unemployment in the country. And you have stated it that these people may be giving us a report that, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, unemployment has increased to 5.7%. But the truth is that, have they been able to cover rural to eat from hand to mouth, where people who are managing to sell maybe on a table before, because of how expensive things are, they had to close up their shops? Does that statistics cover them? So if these people continue with this thing, it will only favor foreign investor, and you are using those policies to kill the businesses that are inward. So come December now, things will even be more terrible, because people will travel to their village and they'll say, okay, if we are able to only get food to eat in the village, no problem. People will close down their shops, and this unemployment rate will even increase more than the statistic that National Bureau of Statistics has given to us.
Exactly. You see, yesterday I was on call with a friend who is into business, and the line of his business is the line of business I'm into. He told me that in his location, that many people in the same line of business have shut down. This is a business that is focused on essential commodities, that things that people cannot do without. But the policies, the cost of buying things, the cost of transportation, everything has choked the business people, that so many people are forced to shut down. Now, if people decide to shut down, and these things are things, essential needs, what happens to people that depend on those things?
Yeah.
Now, you see, the truth is, you mentioned something, you said December is coming. Honestly, last year, many people went home and never returned back to Lagos. The same thing is going to. Now, some people, Nigeria has now become like abroad. Some people are trapped abroad, that they don't even know how to come back. That is how Nigeria has become. Especially people like maybe in Lagos, you are in some far states, to your hometown. People are kind of trapped down there, that they want to go back home, but the transportation now to even move their things, their little property down to their hometown, is a problem. All right. And come December, everything, we are talking about inflation now. We all know how things used to be when it gets to Christmas period. It will be times 2, times 3, times 4, or whatever the people are experiencing now. So all I want to say is, what the CBN want to do is for their own